Hi, I'm Ray. Well, today I'm going to show you 15 bedding plants that we can sow in April. The sun's out, it's a lovely day, so I'm going to get sowing. So let me show you what we're going to do. So we've just bought this high dome propagator. We paid £10 for it, and we're going to sow all our bedding plants in this propagator. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So this is our propagator, and I've just planned out that we're going to do all of our seeds in this propagator, and it's nice and big. Save some compost. So let me show you what we're going to do. So the first seeds we can sow in April is lobelia. So lobelia is a very popular variety, and what I'm going to do is make some drills on my bed so we can put these in our drills. So I've made this compost mix out of coir, compost and perlite, and we filled up our seed tray. Just making some drills so we can plant our seeds in drills. Makes it easier for potting up. And easier to see where we go. So the first one we're doing is lobelia. Lobelia is a very popular variety, and it's a half hardy and long flowering. So that's our lobelia seeds. They're very small. We're just going to sprinkle those along our trough. These can be done in single cell trays and batches, or they can be directly sown into your beds or borders. So we don't cover lobelia, we leave them as it is. The second one we've got is Livingston daisy. So Livingston daisy is a hardy annual, and these are ideal for beds and borders, and the flowers open when the sun's out. Just going to sprinkle these along the next trough. We're not going to cover these, the same as lobelia, just leave them in there. There we go. So that's Livingston daisy. So the next one we're going to do is begonia. This one is summer bedding. And this is a traditional bedding plant. Most tolerant bedding plant there is. These seeds are just like dust, so they're very tiny. So we're just going to sprinkle those along the next drill, just like that. So begonia seeds, they don't need no covering, so we just leave them open. They need the light. So there we go. That is begonia. Right, so the next one on our list is viola. So this is a very popular hanging basket flower, and this as well is very small seeds, and we're going to sprinkle that along the viola line. These also don't need covering, they need light to germinate. And these have got delicate 3 petals on their flowers, look lovely. And that is viola, ideal for tubs and borders. And viola will germinate within 14 to 28 days. And that's viola. So the next one we got is petunias. So petunias are bright colours and they're lovely in baskets and beds. They're tiny seeds, so we're sprinkling them along the petunia line. So petunias, they don't need any covering. So that's it, simple. Petunia. So next we've got on our list is Aquilegia. And this is a cottage style garden flower. And this sits high above all the other bedding plants. These ones are slightly bigger seeds. So we're going to put them down the Aquilegia line, just like that. There we go. And Aquilegia needs light, so we don't cover Aquilegia. So that's the bedding that we don't need to cover. So I'm making a mark just here with my twig to say that nothing this side needs covering. And now we go onto the side that does need a slight covering, and this is pansy, and this is Swiss giant mix. So these are large cheerful flowers and the seeds are getting bigger as we go. So we're doing the pansy line. There we go. All down there. Save the rest. And pansies will germinate between 14 and 30 days. And the next we've got is Sweet William. So this is a fragrant flower, a hardy biennial. So let's have a look at the seeds in here. So they're a bit bigger still. Sweet William, and we'll go down the Sweet William line. There we go. So Sweet Williams, 7 to 14 days for germinating. Right, now next on the list is zinnia. So zinnia is one of the easiest flowers to grow and lovely colours. This one is the Early Wonder Mix. And we can see the seeds are getting bigger and a bit easier to control. So zinnia on this line, a bit easier to space out. There we go, zinnia. And zinnias take 7 to 14 days to germinate. Next we got is Rudbeckia. So Rudbeckia is a long-lasting cone flower. and it's got a bicoloured bloom. Seeds are slightly smaller on this one. So we go down Rebecca line. There we go, that's Rebecca. Rest goes in the packet. And then we've got marigolds. So good old marigolds, a real traditional favourite. This one is Sumptmost Mixed, and it's an African marigold. So we plant our marigolds with our tomatoes, and these are half hardy, and these are pretty much indestructible. Marigolds, these are long seeds. These are easy to save at the end of the season. So that is marigolds, and they're going to go with the tomatoes. And then last of all least is cosmos for our bed. So love cosmos, easy to grow, half hardy annual. These are quite big seeds, and they're just going to go down in their line on the end. So we've done this in lines in the past, and it's worked really well. Right, so that is those seeds in our bed. So now we are going to cover just gently this side only. And then we're going to give it a water, and that's going to sit indoors for them to germinate. Once they've germinated, we can put them on. There we go. So there's a few more seeds that we're going to sow that are not using this method. And we're using the pots for these. We've got a few pots already planted. And the first one is sunflowers. So sunflowers are lovely in the garden. They're great for kids to learn gardening. And we just place 2 sunflowers in each pot. And then we're going to give them a cover. There we go. We're going to do some more, but I'm just going to do those for the moment. The next we're going to show you is sweet peas. We still do sweet peas. Same process. I'm going to put 4 to 5 in our pot. And then we're going to cover. And then the last one is nasturtiums. So this is a dwarf compact mix. And once you've got nasturtiums in your garden, they're going to be coming back. These are quite big. So I'm just going to do a couple, maybe 4 in each, 3, and there we go. And that is nasturtiums. Get them back in the packet. And you can eat the flowers, eat the leaves and even eat the seeds. And like I say, they come back year after year. So there we go. A nice little afternoon potting up some of our seedlings. We're all going to get a water. And then they're going to sit in this propagator. And we wait for them to germinate. So let me know in the comments, what are you growing? You growing your summer bedding plants? You can always just go to the bedding section in the supermarket or the nurseries, just pick them up as little seedlings. But there's something nice about just doing your own seeds. So there we go, giving it water. I'm going to pop the top on and we're going to sit this in a nice warm sunny position, shut the vents, and there we go. Great afternoon. Cheers.